Richie!
Yes.
You're live on YouTube. You're alive.
Am I on YouTube?
Yes.
Oh, that's the delay? Holy crap. Am I on YouTube? Oh, that's the delay? Holy crap.
Alright, I still use throw OBS because I can kinda, well, if you sit down, be more visible.
Oh, it's hell to type when I'm upside down.
Alright. So what changed?
Nice. We may end up going with the big fat one though, or the tall thin one. We'll see. It's still toasty.
So, I thought YouTube takes 60 FPS, no? Only 30?
YouTube? You should take 60 on YouTube, I think. Live streaming? Mm.
Don't see setting for it.
YouTube? Live streaming?
I don't see any. Pushing it.
Hey Richard,
Hey, what?
I said on Facebook that they can look at you through YouTube now.
I'm trying to figure out why is my.
Hey, what? Rich Newman. Jennifer Taylor, go fuck yourself. I forgot. I'm live. Sorry, guys. That was one of those robocalls. Jennifer Taylor is always calling me. I'm live.
Man, that's
Sorry, guys. That was one of those robocalls.
as far as I can tell, it's a damn good picture going.
Jennifer Taylor is always calling me.
But I know how it looks in Germany.
It's pretty good in Germany. I mean, the delay is there, but...
I'm now gonna put the actual green screen in.
Yeah, where am I starting live?
I just gotta put pattern for that. Man, that looks.
The delay is
Look
there,
at that.
but
I'm now gonna put the.
the LEDs are on.
Exactly, like it's LEDs. Slick.
I think you should really be streaming the view I am looking at on Skype. That camera captures like how crappy the setup is.
This is sick, man. This streaming is sick. This is crazy. I mean, I'm looking at it through the YouTube. This is like a TV, a high definition TV I'm looking at. In freaking insane. I have to figure out where is the 60 setting because it's only, I don't know if OBS has it or not. I'm gonna look for other patterns. Oh, I know what I can do now. Right. Actually, let's do that. Let's see if I can.
Oh, Greg's around if you want to connect him to Igor for talking about drivers.
Skype probably.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Igor, do you have Greg on Skype? You can add him to the call.
Let me feel the file to look at it.
Man, that picture is just ridiculously good looking.
It's weird. I never got that email I sent from Bono. Huh.
You got a stalker actually already, at least one
We got a what?
on YouTube. Someone named SUB2r. That's cool. People are joining. Actually, I turned off my YouTube so I don't get confused with all the sounds. And I just realized that whatever I say probably is heard on YouTube as well, right? Sorry for the spotty comment.
Alright, I'm gonna have your real deal behind you. Now we're talking.
Hey Richard, you should join the for YouTube, people are saying hi to you.
We're not up on Twitch yet, right?
No, only YouTube.
Only on YouTube, but people
I'm just now having a real screen behind you.
So, do you want to do the? Do you want to?
I could show you if you.
I'm seeing it. I'm watching it. I'm on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Well, say hi, and then I can show you what it is actually. You see how cool? I mean, how good that picture is.
that brings you back to the early 80s. Hey, Serge, turn off the enhancer for a second to show what it looks like without the enhancer.
Of course. So that's what it looks like. Without it, this is our green screen. Well, Richard, you got the mic going actually.
I do. I know, and I keep forgetting to say something. So, we're sitting here with an audience and being an idiot, not saying anything. So, hi, Oxy. Long way this camera has come since you had one to play with. We've got auto controls. We've got stable. It's a more stable build. Better optics. We've got some of the audio features working. I mean, it's really grown up since you got one of the early ones to play with. But thank you, by the way, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have put as much work behind the brightness and the gamma and all of the image enhancement features that were necessary for streamers. And so we really appreciate that.
This is the green screen. Green screen. Well, right now you have a green screen. The way it is lit up.
So look at how crappy the green screen is lit behind me, and watch what Serge can do with it. This is what is amazing. Oh, somebody wants to see Danger Dog? Jeez, they don't want me, they want Danger Dog. I'll be right back.
All the color fluctuations and the shadow and stuff.
Oh, somebody wants to see Danger Dog? Jeez, they don't want me, they want Danger Dog. I'll be right back. You should bring his chair. He's too short.
Our green screen is sick, man.
Oh, for a minute there, I thought we froze. We didn't. It's
No.
just...
It's
Wow, I looked at the delay, there's like 15 seconds delay between what I see on Skype and what I see on YouTube. Hello. Hey, Greg. Hey. Tune to YouTube. We are live right now streaming Richard is showing off the green screen. Well, getting ready to show off the green screen on YouTube. I was on there with the second so I can see the user right now. Also, you can see how the setup looks like from the Skype camera.
He sat through... Danger Dog sat through a lot of late nights of experimentation. But he's learned to sit real still, so he's a great partner. Whoops.
It is absolutely insane.
Also got some fabulous new top plates to experiment with to improve the passive cooling. Got them on the main cameras over there. So that's going to be part of our experimenting this week, is to dial in the size of the new top plates. So Serge, do we want to make this thing look really cool for people?
Like,
You know what I want to do.
you want to do? you wanna do.
I don't like green. You gonna blow these guys away?
You don't like green.
I don't like green. Whoops, where'd I go? Did I kill my feet? Oh no, I can't see myself. Yeah, let's do something fun. So can we do something fun, Serge? Please.
One second. Do something.
Why am I typing? Why am I typing?
I don't know.
I've never done this before. I'd be a lousy cam girl, you know that. So I don't know if the audio is still running. Hopefully it is. Yay.
It's running.
Okay. So, Stu, I'm trying to talk Serge into letting me do something fun here,
Yes.
and he's dragging his. Can I do it now?
So you want to change green to something else?
Yeah.
What color you want?
Well, no. Turn this off. I want to put the red screen up.
Oh, no.
No.
No, I don't have the setup yet. I don't know. It's gonna take me no.
Come
I
on.
thought you just wanna. When we have it all dialed and set, then
Ah.
we'll do it. I don't wanna do it right now.
He's dragging his feet.
I can change this. You know
Oh,
what?
he can change the background color,
Just
but that's
for
not
that,
fun.
I'm gonna give you pink.
You can give me pink. Oh, thanks.
Because we can do it at will. We can put any background. Well, why am I?
Why am I hung? I'm not streaming right now. Or did I not hit go? Maybe it was me. It was me.
There you go. See?
Yeah, well, that's what you get.
You're now a talking girl in front of a pin screen. Perfect.
Oh. So can we,
I can make you check this out. Like we don't even have green screen behind you. I'm now running black.
and you can see the hallway, though. That's always
Of course. There you go. I can put any colors we want. That is absolutely slick. I mean, our green screen, and I mean, all right. I guess I'm talking, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, anything, yeah, so anything that we get is,
because the main
that matches the color.
the main thing is, I'll have to put another camera to show what the setup is. There is no light per se dedicated to the green screen. That was the whole idea behind it. Your green screen now does not take, it's a hassle-free green screen.
And notice all the wrinkles and shades.
So one of the fun things that we sort of made the analogy of is that our camera's like a gaming PC, and this main board is like your motherboard, and this is like your video card. So when you want to upgrade your PC, you don't throw out the entire PC. You just swap out the video card. The same thing with our camera.
How cool that board looks like now, because
oh yeah, I know it's all pink
so
and
cool.
you know if you
now,
would
that would be a super customized piece. I mean,
yeah. So we're waiting for. The cool thing is it's all done inside the camera. Nothing grabbing onto your, CPU and grinding down your gaming PC. But that's what I like, is the fact that it's a crappy lit green screen. You can see that behind me, and that's the... We do have this other little camera. We could set that one up. Oh, not enough coffee.
Yeah, I could try run it. I mean, yes, I can try running it.
Oh, so you always have an insert in a... Simon. Vanna's at Costco. I'm sitting in front of a video camera live streaming to the world. No, that's okay. Just give her a call. Alrighty, bye.
So let me then hook that one as well. This camera. Well, you know what? I wanted. Let me maybe get the camera that kind of sees the whole shebang on a fish line, so that the whole setup is visible. That we are not really putting anything.
So you could put the fisheye on that one and just put it on top of the monster.
I'll be putting it like somewhere on top of something. But I can take this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. This looks amazing.
You having fun?
Amazing.
I still want to change color.
You'll get to it, but not at the moment.
Oh, come on.
Because, well, we just finished up the preset savings. So I can actually save. I think Igor was still working on some updates because not everything gets saved.
Okay.
So once that is done, then we can, yeah, I know. Pick it.
Oh, but that's what's so cool. I mean, that's what's the mind-blowing part of it. But all right. What do you need, Serge?
Just want to say hi.
You want to say hi?
I just did.
That was Serge sticking his head in the picture. My butterflies are back. Oh, that's so cool. Where'd you find them?
So I guess I could place it.
Yeah, you could. But you can also go...
I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
So I'll need a spare
extension cord?
extension. Well,
We got them all over the place.
I'll find it. Let me actually place the. Because that'd be cool. I mean, fisheye. So the different lenses running.
So one of the cool things we did is, and Igor is kind of the evil genius on this stuff, is we've been able to save all the camera presets so that when you come back online, you can call them up, and you can also have a catalog of presets, which allows you to have presets for different settings in different locations, and then you can easily just call those up and say, hey, I'm in front of this game, I want this preset. I'm in front of a different game, I want another preset, which is one of the wild things about how this camera is set up, is you can actually, you don't lose your settings and have to go through the hassle of remembering them or writing them down every time you reload. There's so fun times. Six watching. Well, most of it does, right?
Extension cord.
Oh yeah, now you're gonna find some place to plug it in when you place up.
I think this one is. Oh no, it's not. I'll probably go from underneath.
TwitchCon was fabulous. I just wrote a long email to Von Whiskey about our experience. Leading up to TwitchCon, it was ulcers, tears, vomiting, late night, downloading code onto cameras at Starbucks because we didn't have Wi-Fi. Really just an insane, stressful environment. We drove an hour from Glendale to where we were staying to Long Beach. Got in line. Serge hates heat. Vonda hates people. So it was not a fun wait to get in. But once we got in the front door, they found a great place to land at the Copacabana, which is the outdoor bar. Nice big couch in front of a huge blue painted wall. I think it's part of the aquarium, something like that. Anyway, Serge spent the day amazing people by turning that into a giant green screen. For us, it was a great experience because we have been working toward this point for 2 years. More than that, really, but 2 years on this particular camera. And what did you just do, Serge? We lost the bank of lights on the ring.
No.
Yes, I'm staring at it. We lost the bank of lights on the
I
ring.
didn't do anything. That's it.
Oh, maybe it died.
Huh?
Oh well.
We'll figure it out.
So
Not my fault.
hey, I didn't touch anything. But it was a great opportunity for us to really put our technology out in front of people. And when they saw the image that Serge had on the laptop, all discussions about specs and my camera, this camera kind of thing just went away because we were streaming 1080p 60 and occasionally 4K. Absolutely beautiful image quality. People were amazed at how easy it is to change the lenses to match your particular environment. And then when we showed them how easy it is to change the camera board and upgrade it, like you'd upgrade a video card in your gaming PC, that it changes your camera from being a disposable accessory like a mouse into a really an essential platform, just like your PC is. It's a complete change in how you think of things. And then we went to the point of really showing people what the camera can do. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. But everybody we met was incredibly nice. They were amazed by the product, and we just hope we can sell a lot of these things because we are a startup. Pre-sale, we got to hit a minimum number to get our contract manufacturer to the point where they can build them, at an affordable rate. It's kind of like business cards. So it's, if you buy one business card, it costs the same as if you buy 500 business cards. And that's sort of where we are right now. These cameras that are on the table are ridiculously expensive because we only built 24 of them. But when we go into production and we've got almost all the high dollar and long lead parts, on hand to do that, we could build a really, really good camera, and we're ready for it. I mean, this BEMA, B-E-M-A, is the contract manufacturer, and they've been working with us now for a couple of months, doing the modifications on the current design, helping us design the production run, and it's pretty exciting. They've got a lot of experience with us now, so we know when it comes to building the cameras that they're going to do a fabulous job. And it's what we're looking forward to. I mean, we're ready to get these cameras out in the hands of people. So the platform design is one aspect of it that I think was always core to how we designed this camera. Even the microphones are interchangeable. That's what people look at that and go, wow, you can swap out the mics, but you may want a shotgun mic, you may want an omnidirectional mic or a combination of them. You may want no mic at all, in which case you pull them out and you make that a pathway for low bandwidth data. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with that, and even the data paths and the audio paths get interlaced with the video stream. So it really reduces the chance of an out of sync scenario. So the audio and video always stay synchronized. Yeah, we're fingers crossed on the pre-sale. We launched it, and GoDaddy was kind enough to crash the site the day after the day of we opened the pre-sale. So one of the reasons for doing these streams, one of the reasons for getting stuff out there, is to sort of be a relaunch of the pre-sale program. We know that people have got to take a risk with us. They've got to believe in what we're doing, and so we're trying to show that we've done everything possible to reduce that risk. We're not going to build cameras till we know we have enough orders to actually build and deliver them. We've taken care of the long lead parts. We've built these cameras before. We've got great partners in the hardware, in the actual housing design, in the optics, in the manufacturing of it. I mean, everybody's really stepped up and done some amazing stuff. Yeah, we're hoping that you know, these streams, although I'm probably the worst person in the world to stream, which is why I'm hoping at some point in time Surge gets me locked into either Spelunky or PoE, because at least I'll have something to talk about, that we can show off what the camera can do. Our drivers plug and play now. Oh, interesting. So, Surge, Oxy says hi.
Hello.
Igor is on Skype with Greg. I'm not sure we work under Windows 7.
No.
That's, setting the Wayback Machine on that, But yeah, I don't know if we're backwards compatible to 7. I know we work on 10. Serge, you know if we work on 8?
We should.
We should work on 8.
We should. It all comes down to MMF.
Oh, that's right.
So Windows 7 problem is handling especially 4K. 4K and Windows 7.
Yeah.
Windows 7 does not know what 4K is.
Yeah. So
never will.
Yeah. So Windows 7 has an issue with 4K. We don't even have a Windows 7 machine left in the lab, do we?
No, that's it.
I think not even the old Toshiba upstairs is a Windows 7 machine. So
now, as you can see, the whole setup now is on the screen.
Yeah. So, did you? You're putting me in the. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Now people get even more of me.
Never enough of you.
Oh God, there's always too much of me, unfortunately. So, yeah, you guys can see that more of our lab's set up now. It's a very small room.
But this is to show that we don't have dedicated light for green screen.
Yeah, so we have, yes.
No need for that.
We're in a back room of Vonda's house that we converted a couple years ago to a lab. So it's very much like anybody else's. Yeah, stereo me, just what the world needs, right? More of me. What we need to do is we need to clone Igor, and we need to clone Greg. We definitely don't need more of me. We need a lot of Igors and a lot of Gregs at this point in time. But you can see our setup. I mean, it's just, pretty much like everybody else's setup. Poor lighting in the green screen. We've got.
I'm switching to what the actual green screen looks like.
Yeah. So you can see our kind of minimalistic setup here.
Yeah, that's it. That's your setup.
Yeah.
That's all what it will take with this camera to make a green screen to work.
So Stu, one of the things we did is we've added some functionality within the camera that helps it with low light situations. But a lot of those functions do one of two things. They'll either slow the frame rate down or they'll crank the gain. And when you slow the frame rate down, of course, things look horrible. We want to keep it locked at either 60 or 30 frames a second or whatever frame rate you want to set the camera at. So we did a couple of things. We had a gamma, which is a really powerful tool for increasing the brightness of an image. We also added brightness. We've added saturation controls. We've added contrast controls. And then we've switched lenses. We have a really nice lens. This is an f1.8 lens that is about 25% more light than a standard 2.0 lens. So it makes, there's always compromises. So the bigger the aperture, the lower your depth of field. Smaller your aperture, the longer the depth of field, but the less light you have. So there's always trade-offs in photography. And that's a decision that we allow the streamer to make. We're not going to restrict you to a particular lens. So gains, God, we have gains. We have RGB gains. We have total gains. We have exposure control. We have black level control. Those are all on-chip controls. And then you move over to UVC. And in the UVC controls, we give you, from top to bottom, we give you brightness, contrast, hue, saturation, white balance.
You mean you want to put it on a screen?
No. You can. Can you? Of course you can. There's nothing Serge can't put on the screen. So Serge is going to throw the control panel up on the screen if he can, so you guys can see what we have. Because then you're asking me to sort of remember everything these guys have built. We have some great tools if you want to actually get down and dirty and reprogram the image sensor itself. We have some tools for doing that as well. So. And I'm just sitting here staring at Serge. His eyes poking over the top of the camera, or top of the monitor.
There we go. I'll be using the wonderful feature of green screen.
So we do have some tools for sharpening. That was another one. We're working on some noise reduction tools. Those are always fighting each other. So getting them dialed in right is always a difficult issue. One of the things that we like about the camera is the fact that as we come up with more functionality or improved functionality, you can download a upgrade to the firmware and just load that onto your camera. And it loads over USB. So we've got the tools in place for that. Just plug in your camera, say, upload, and we launch new functionality to the camera itself.
So I threw in control panel if you want.
Okay, so when it pops up, I can talk about it because I can't see it right now. There's that lag between.
I see it on the right, but
you see it.
Yeah,
I don't see it because there's a lag between YouTube and me.
You don't have the right. I need to just throw your light feed.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So what do you throw up in the corner? Okay, that's the color substitution program.
No.
There we go.
Sorry.
Okay, so this is the first panel of the controls. And when you log on, what it does is basically gives you feedback as to what the different components are that you're dealing with. So what level of FX3, which is essentially the control chip that interfaces with USB, and then what level your FPGA is at. I think he also does he load the sensor that we're using or not on this one? I can't read it because it's so small, but I should make it bigger. But Igor has done this so that we always know when we grab a camera off the shelf and we plug it in, we can see what we're looking at. So you were asking about controls. Okay, so now he's got the controls up, and you can see that there are sliders. The cool thing about the sliders is that you can also digitally, just input the digits to make the controls. And is it a center mouse wheel, Serge, that drives the bar back and forth in fine tuning? Center mouse wheel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the keyboard, center mouse wheel, everything.
Yeah. So, yeah, so we keep changing. There you go. Oh yeah. And Igor just mentioned our wiki is up. So it's wiki.sub2r. Lots of really cool information we're beginning to throw out there, and we're looking to put more information about the hardware, about the firmware, and as time goes on, we want to give people information about digital photography itself, how the CMOS sensors work, what are the algorithms that are in between the lens and the end of the camera, different hooks that we built into the camera to allow you to program it and do different functions with the camera. I mean, there's so much you can do with this camera, and that's what we're hoping. Oh, who?
Kate.
Was that Kate? Who was the educational streamer? What's her name? Yeah, we met. I'm going to apologize up front. We met so many people. I got a stack of cards, and Vonda said, "Oh yeah, Kate was. Oh my God, what a fascinating woman. A forensic anthropologist turned educational streamer. Wow. Yeah. So we've collected a ton of information, and I so want to help her educate the world about optics and the whole world of digital imaging. We've learned so much, have collected so much data in the last couple of years that we want to share it. One of the things that upset us in our original engineering work was that camera companies hold on to this information like it's some precious magic. It's like, oh, I'm Colonel Sanders. I'm not going to tell you what her secret ingredients are, right? There are webcam companies that won't even tell you what the f-stop is of their lens. I mean, we'll give you the blueprints of the lens. I mean, we'll give you all the specs of our image sensor. You can't create if you don't know what and how this camera is built. And that's the idea behind it, is we want you to go play. And working with Kate, oh, yeah, we had so much fun talking to her. I think there's a lot we could share. And at some point, some funny stories about my experience with Albuquerque, New Mexico, because I used to be part of one of my first startups was we launched it in Reno, Nevada, and moved it to Albuquerque. So,
You know where my camera box is?
where your camera box is?
My camera box is.
It's
Through this stuff.
a black box.
Yeah. It's like everything.
We only have like 50 black boxes here in the lab. Albuquerque, yeah. So, Stu, I hope you don't mind, but I used to tell people there were 3 colors in Albuquerque: sand, tan, and beige. And it was the color of the vegetation, the landscape, the food, and the culture. It's just, it's a landlocked island. Well, you've got to drive forever to find anything. I mean, people go, oh, we go to Santa Fe. Okay, Santa Fe looks like a nicer version of Albuquerque, but it's still Albuquerque. There was a reason they did the original atomic testing there. If something had gone bad, nobody would really have noticed. Wonderful people there. There's a gentleman there that I worked with for years. His name's John Joseph. Can't miss him. He's like 7 feet tall. One of the most brilliant people I've ever met in my life. So he's still there. He loves Albuquerque. I don't know why. but he and his family are really wonderful people. I enjoyed working with him, but honestly, I didn't want to live there. So when we moved the company there, I decided to stay here in San Francisco and start a new company. And this is the company we started. So actually, this is a spinoff of the company we started. Um, and it's turning out to be kind of a wonderful success. So,
But shit.
what did you missed? You can't find.
There is my
What-
box.
What was in your box?
The flash drive.
Oh, the flash drive.
Well, just in general, the box.
I don't know.
What on earth?
It's not under those things over there, right?
Sometimes, see, that's why, as you said, right? Somebody starts rearranging things.
So the origins of SUB2r is that we started out making just throw things around, Serge, including my micrometer. Yeah, that's not going to be accurate anymore. Just toss it on the ground. Delicate piece of scientific equipment.
We're done with all the hard work. We can do that now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have had any fun, Stu. We started a company that did high-speed, high-density 3D imaging. So we have a really unique methodology for using one illumination source and one image sensor. We can do the original system we built did a 1 megapixel point cloud where every point is in the cloud has a measured distance and then an RGB value. And that's scalable. If you had an 8 megapixel or 10 megapixel sensor, you could make it a 10 megapixel point cloud. And the range is scalable as well, basically in the 1 to 3 meter range. And with a slight change in the hardware, you could scale that up to probably 150 meters. And it was designed to run both inside and in direct sunlight. We filed a patent on the development of that. And while in order to do that, we needed a camera that gave us access to the entire imaging pipeline. We couldn't find a camera that would do that, so we built one from scratch. We thought, gee, how hard would that be? And as we turned out, that was a really difficult project. And Serge, can you hand me one of the pigs that are on the second shelf underneath the rubber duck?
With the duck, man.
With the duck.
What kind of what?
Oh, that's an old KGA lens.
Yeah, that looks good.
Oh no, it's a verbal lens.
I like it. Looks great.
So this is one of our second generation cameras. Really small, little 720p camera, but extremely good low light sensitivity. As you can see by the fins on the back, we were learning all about thermodynamics. Good frame rate, onboard microphones. The image sensor itself was and is interchangeable. Matter of fact, I think you can actually pop the case on this one as well. I don't know what's inside this. Yeah, there we go. So very simple. Small FPGA based inside. Hard to see, but the camera board is interchangeable as well. And Serge would go out from time to time and post videos about what that camera would do. And then early in 2015, people began to find those videos on YouTube and ask us about, the camera and its applications. And these were people who were scientists. They were people who ran photo booths and astronomers and people from all over the place. And then a guy you probably heard us refer to, Von Whiskey, who's a streamer up in Canada, found us and said, hey, you guys ought to build a camera for Twitch streamers. And we said, what's that? Which is kind of funny because Serge and Von and Igor and James, our optics guy, are all WoW's players, right? And my only claim to fame in gaming is I used to work for Nolan Bushnell, and most people don't know who that is. So you could You can Google that name. But he said you ought to go to TwitchCon, and this was back in 2015. It was a good grief, what's TwitchCon? And he said, well, it's next week in San Francisco. So we went to TwitchCon, the very first one, and realized that what we had is pretty amazing. So we spent the next year developing the camera, working with Twitch streamers, working with scientists, working with a number of people, and said, how can we turn this camera, the basis of this camera, into something that is really an incredible platform for people to work with? And so a lot of the same concepts in this little guy, the dual microphones, the interchangeable camera board, you can't see it, but at the top, this one has a programmable 3-color LED, which is the exact same programmable 3-color LED we carried over to this, the same microphones. We just gave it more horsepower because this one does no onboard processing. All it does is grab the image and throw it out the back of the camera as fast as it can. We realized that for a lot of people, they need more than that. They need the ability to process the image. So we did that. We put a very powerful FPGA on board. We put a bank of memory on board. We've added, this one has Gig E, but we're ditching that for an SFP cage. The SFP cage is going to allow us to put modules in there that convert to HDMI, SDI, Gig E, optical outputs, LTE, you name it. I mean, that's the cool thing, is that you just plug a module in, you get a different output. What else? Oh, 2 banks right now. This one has it. Little itty bitty pin buried in the back. We learned inside of a bank of heat pins is the wrong place to put connectors. And this one we needed to expand because the JTAGs for programming the FPGA were inside. This is GPIO that goes straight to the camera board. So we're combining these into a new connector that's going on the back that will take up to 2 ribbon cables simultaneously. One that gets you straight to the FPGA, allows you to program it and debug it without opening the case. The other is the bank of GPIO pins that goes and bypasses everything and gets you straight to the camera. So if you want to do synchronization, you want to run strobe off of it, you want to do power up, power down features on the camera, that gives you direct access to it. So really trying to make this a platform you can have fun playing with. What else is badass? I like badass. So you've probably seen, I don't know if Serge can, if we get this close enough, but probably not going to be in focus. On the back side of the camera board, you'll notice. What do you mean? Oh, good. On the back side of the camera, you'll see 20 pins. Those 20 pins are user configurable I/O, which means you can program all kinds of stuff. We don't know what you're going to do with it. So if you want to run powered optics, you want to run your own stuff, you can control those through the FPGA. So you can do power zoom, power focus, power iris, powered IR cutout, in and out. You could power a 3-axis gimbal off of it. So any of those kinds of things, all doable. For the scientific people, oftentimes you don't want the microphone. That's great. The microphones just pop off with these great little connectors, which have been one of the pains in my butt, because finding connectors that do what we want, and then I've got to be able to see to put it back together again. There we go. So these are 2 sub-26 dB studio quality omnidirectional mics. They're built by ST. They're MEMS mics. If you don't want these mics, you can replace them. We'll give you the blank boards if you want to put your own mics on there. If we want to put shotgun mics, we can do that. You can pull the mics off and use these low bandwidth data. These mics, as well as the auxiliary audio, which is a 3.5 millimeter headset jack, which gives you stereo out and microphone in. We interlace these with the data stream. So what we do is we break these into packets, and the audio and the video are streaming together so that you don't have an out of sync scenario. If you replace the microphones with low bandwidth data, so this is in a submersible, and you want to get water temperature, depth, salinity, any other kind of data like that, that data is also interlaced at the same time. So really trying to think of everything you could possibly want to do. And also added the fact that even the LED is programmable. So if you want to say, gee, I want to have the status light tell me what state the camera is in, or some other form of indication, or you want to communicate to somebody who's in front of the camera by changing the LED color, you can do that. Will it make breakfast for you? I'll tell you. Without a heatsink on the top, these are passively cooled devices. You could probably, it'd take you a while to fry an egg, but the FPGA runs when it's cranking at about 100 C. We've got the top plate down till it's running now. It dissipates heat to about 41 or 42 degrees C in normal conditions. So don't know how long it would take to boil or to cook an egg at that thing, but yeah, you could probably, I know it'll keep your coffee warm. But that's why we got these brand new heat sinks in today. We're playing with those. We have a real double issue basically, and that is it has to thermally cool the camera, but it also has to look cool so Serge is happy. So that's always our never-ending challenge. What are you doing?
Just green.
Green? Oh, it was disappearing?
It's a psychedelic.
Flickering. So, synchronization is one of those things that's really, for us in our initial engineering work in 3D, was important. And so what we allow you to do is to actually latch onto that sync signal on the way out if you want to strobe with it, or if you want to synchronize the camera to something else. It's a real simple square wave, and it just triggers off the leading edge of the square wave. So if you have a Genlock system and you have maybe 50 or 100 of these cameras all strung together, you can all power them off the same Genlock, which is cool. And let's see, totally looks cool. Red and black is my favorite. Oh, but wait a minute. Where are they, Serge? You're looking for your box. I'm looking for mine.
Oh, well.
So
I think I've seen it.
I have to remember to look up. I just looked over. I'm always looking down. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Stove, you like colors, although some of these are going to end up disappearing. Serge is one of the most difficult people to make happy. You'll find that in this company, everybody is spending their time, including Igor, including myself, trying to do things to make Serge happy. And finding the right anodized color for the side rails, what an excruciating process. So at one point in time, the anodizing company came to us and said, hey, look, why don't we just give you a whole bunch of samples and you can go play with them. So, will that stand up? Nope. Will that stand up? Nope. All right. So, they started playing around, and I don't have all of them here. I'm missing the orange ones. You can see Von Whiskey's camera is gold. Right here, is it in the picture? It should be in the picture if I move it over here. Oh, yeah, there it is. So, we came up with some of these really cool things. You can't see, unfortunately, we're shooting with Serge's camera right now. It's got this, what they call a galactic swirl pattern on the side. But they do some amazing things. So, yeah, that's the gold is for Von Whiskey, and we promised that that would be the only gold camera we built. So we did, we were going to build, that one is his. It's back here to get refurbished, and it's going off to Cream, who is a streamer that's a friend of Von Whiskey's, end of this week with all the updated codes on it. Looking for what, Serge?
For a Sprite.
My what?
The sides.
Oh, no, they're in the box underneath me.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, one of the big boxes on the bottom. So if you wonder, our lab is so small that this is actually a table. It's a lab rack, and we put a couple of cardboard boxes and a piece of plywood on top, and that's our table. So that's how small we are. Yeah, it's CRREAM. And hoping to send this off to him end of the week. It's a big box on the bottom shelf, big huge box, and
Or is it open?
I don't know. I can't see because the tablecloth's in the way. Oh, look at that! My duck changed color. That is so cool. But yeah, one of the things that really excited
Yeah, I don't know.
Cream was the fact that he hates green screen. Everybody hates green screen that's in the industry. And the fact that you can use a horribly lit green screen like this and substitute the color. So one of the important things we always like to be as upfront and honest as possible is we don't green screen. What we do is we do color substitution. So Igor built a tool that allows you to pick a very specific color and then take that color and replace it with something else. And when we replace it, or a range of colors, when we replace it with an absolutely pure color, or you can replace it with anything you want, but in this case, we replace it with a pure color. That way, when it feeds into something like OBS and it does green screen subtraction, it's a really clean color for OBS to subtract. As a matter of fact, we talked to Hugh, the guy who wrote OBS at TwitchCon, and he's looking at that thinking, wow, if you send me 255 green and all I need to know is all I have to do is subtract 255 green, it takes a huge load off of the host CPU. So that's one of the things that we're working towards is to take the load off of the host computer by processing stuff where it belongs to be, should be processed, which is in the imaging pipeline, and provide the end result being as efficient as possible. Yeah, he is the most humble person I think we've ever met. He's just he's a nice guy. I've got to get him and Igor, sort of crunching brains together on getting 4K to stream on OBS because nothing likes 4K. Everybody talks about 4K. It's like, oh yeah, streaming 4K. It's like we have found one program and one program only that we can load 4K onto that will actually display it and record it. So it's, yeah, he is. He is a really nice guy, and always open. Always there to help out and make sure that you've got the support you need. This one?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And I think he genuinely is surprised at how big OBS has become. I mean, it's turned into this platform that everybody on the planet, practically uses, and that's he doesn't seem. I mean, I guess he could turn it into something to make him $1 bazillion, but he's really more interested in just making a platform for people to share what they do. Yeah, one of the things we're hoping to do with all of this, in all the directions we go, is to integrate in as many different directions as possible, because we see that as being really the solution for how to grow. I mean, if I think Igor is still on, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. That's more than half the company is on YouTube right now. So it's we're self-funded, no VCs, no angels, no crowdfunding, nothing. And now we're stepping out the door and trying to get this thing off the ground, and it's scary, but it's also kind of cool that we're at this point. So it's pretty exciting for us. And Serge isn't going to let me do background color. Come on.
At some point.
Oh, come on, man.
At some point.
Sure. I want to see different backgrounds. So I keep bugging Serge. He's dragging his feet, but you don't need green to do green screen. So.
Eager picture. I don't think it was. It is widely known as to who is the genius behind the green screen. So.
Oh, have you seen the 3D image I have of it? Did you bring up that one from the 3D video?
Not really. I'm having a live feed from the Skype.
So go back and find on the remember the YouTube video we did with the 3D imaging that's got him talking in 3D? You pull that up and load it in. That's pretty insane.
Trying to find it.
Yeah, we went back on our original reservation list, and we're looking at the times when people actually requested a camera. We added them to the list. We started adding people to our list in 2014. And we thought, oh yeah, it's not going to be too long until we get a camera out the door. And it's like, yeah, 3 years later, we finally got here. Pretty crazy. But Igor made a great observation. When you don't have money and you have limited engineers, the only thing you can throw at challenges is time. And some of the things we learned were these weird obstacles, like the documentation for the image sensor was less than accurate. It was copy and pasted from other documents and like DPC, for instance. DPC, defective pixel cancellation, or PNRU, pixel response non-uniformity, PRNU, pixel response non-uniformity. They're supposed to calibrate these things in the factory, and store that data in these write once memory on board the image chip. Went out there and looked, and there's nothing there. And we called them up and said, guys, no matter what we do, when we look at those registers, there's no data there. And they went, yeah, we don't really do that. We kind of expect you guys to do that when you get a hold of our chip. So we ended up having to write our own DPC controls, and that's in the way, though, that actually ended up adding more functionality, because as a image sensor gets older, or as the temperature changes, the basic characterization of every single pixel changes. And so what we can do is continually recalibrate the sensor whenever you see that you're getting too many, we call them troll snot, bright, sparkly spots. The overexcited pixels, you can set the threshold for those, and you can recalibrate the camera from time to time. So if you're out in the field and start out in the morning, it's cold, and the afternoon it's hot, and you're noticing too much noise, you can actually recalibrate the camera, get rid of those pixels, and then get back into your session and continue running again. But that takes a long time to go through that process. So we were probably, took us a month, maybe more, to figure out that that was an issue, and then probably another month or two to write the corrections for it and figure out how you're going to write the corrections for it. We still are working on being able to store that information on the camera. That's one of the things that we will have by the time the camera goes into production, is the ability to store that information. Right now, you have to calibrate when you fire these alpha cameras up. One of the things you do is you clear the defective pixels or calibrate the defective pixels. Going forward, that information will store on the camera itself, so that you only need to recalibrate it when you see that the defective pixels have changed and it's becoming an issue. Other things we ran into is the first time we built these, we thought we were dealing with a really, really, really good contract manufacturer. And we sat at the table, and they were going to build these cameras at their big innovation lab in San Francisco, which is a showcase, and introduce you to all these famous people and all this stuff. And we sat around the table and drank the Kool-Aid. And at the end of the day, none of that happens. And it turned out they farmed out the work to some schlock shop. I should have known better when the lab that the facility that they had farmed this out to had no sign on the door, no one in the parking lot, and the name of the company was Piranha. The parts were assembled wrong. They had shorts underneath parts. They charged a gazillion dollars for a DFM, which is Design for Manufacturing report. Didn't catch half the stuff that they should have. And we've reworked these boards and reworked these boards and reworked these boards. And not too long ago, we found one of our key problems was the fact that the solder joints, this is going to probably go bad, the solder joints underneath the USB connector, they had screwed them up. We thought it was us. For a year and a half, we've been battling these USB connectivity problems. It wasn't us. It was the fact that every one of these connectors was soldered wrong. So BEMA, who we're working with now, found it during an X-ray exam of the board so they could understand how these things go together. And they said, well, we'll fix them for you. And they went and they undid all of them and resoldered the connectors on every single board we have, which is an amazing process. Our boss is on her way. This is cool. Tell her we are. Isn't this rude? I'm texting while live streaming. But there we go. What else? Yeah, so you've been getting our newsletters. Yeah. We've had trials, we've had tribulations, and 1,000 times we probably should have given up and walked away, but the fun part is that we didn't. We stuck to it, and I think we've really built something that everybody who's part of this, and including the people that have supported us and been fans of ours for years, can be proud of being part of. Our optics partner, SUB2r, they've done some really amazing stuff for us and helped us to pick lenses that are perfectly matched to this particular camera. Even OmniVision makes the sensors. I mean, we've got to be a mosquito in their ear. I think we bought, probably 2 seconds of production, in 1 year of parts from them. And yet they get us, components. They help us out when they can. Really big help has been the guys who have designed the passive cooling and the housing. That's PSC Motor and Fan. They're basically a cooling company. They do large cooling projects. But Mike Harvey and Bob Wiley, got really excited about this, and they dove into it and designed an amazing housing for this. I don't know if people have seen it, but we've actually driven my Dodge four-wheel drive Ram. It's a quad cab with a 5.7 liter Hemi, so it's not a light car. It's not like a little smart car. We've driven my truck over one of these cameras. And remember having a guy one time say, "Oh yes, but we want our cameras to be, rugged." I said, "Fine. Take the camera you're using now, and I'll take my camera. We'll put them in the parking lot, and I'll drive over them. Winner gets the deal, right?" Yeah, labor of love, labor of insanity, I guess. I don't know. It's been, yeah, it's a labor of love. But if you're gonna do something, you got to do something that you can truly get excited about, that you can get behind, and that you believe in. And TwitchCon was scary for me personally, because my fear is that we would go there and people would go, nice camera. Or somebody would announce 10 cameras that do 1,000 times what we do. And that's kind of always your darkest fear. You put all this work into something, and with all the delays and everything else, that somebody beats you to getting out the door. But we've got something that's pretty amazing. It's there's nothing else out there like it, and it's pretty insane quality. And that's what stopped a lot of people at TwitchCon, is they would see the quality on Surge's monitor and go, "Holy crap, where's that coming from?" And here's this little camera sitting there. Then when they start to learn all the things that it will do, and most people just kick me in the shins when I start getting started about all the stuff that will happen, you can do with it, and all the cool things we've designed into it. So, I mean, if you do anything that is, hacking or modifying, that there's always that point where you're going, "God, I wish I had a place I could get some power off of this board." We even have 2 power takeoff pins on the inside that give you 2.5 and 5 volts of isolated power. So if you decide you want to power something yourself, we don't know what it is. But I always hate trying to solder onto some component, praying that I didn't, break it, so I can get some, 5 volts so I can power something. So, yeah, and that's the cool thing, is that we've got some really cool camera sensors coming down the pipe, both on the upside, higher quality, and then a higher performance. So we're working on the next generation of 4K sensor, which is 4K at 30, or 4K at 60, 1080p at 120. But the exciting thing about that particular sensor is that it has on-chip HDR. And then we're working on another one that is kind of a newer version of this, which is the 9755, which is a 4-micron architecture, but it's exceedingly fast and good in low light scenarios, and has unusually high sensitivity in the near infrared for people who are doing things that require infrared photography. They've done some exceptional things with the well design of the pixel architecture to increase its sensitivity to IR. So it makes it a really good camera for those applications. The other thing that we've done is design the camera so that it will handle 2 image sensors simultaneously, and we've designed it so that the width is, you can put the sensors at 80mm centers, which is what you need to replicate the stereoscopic effect of the human eye. So you can do live streaming VR with it. And mind you, all these are going to take time in development, but our speed of developing those is much faster because all we're doing is modifying the camera board, because the motherboard of our camera is sensor agnostic. So it doesn't really care what sensor you put on it, so long as it meets certain data stream criteria. Oh, how long have you been doing that, Serge? I haven't been watching the screen.
Your fault. For a long time.
My fault. So what you see behind me is actually, that was my father's watch. It was a little wind-up wristwatch that we did a 4K image of, which is great. Did you put that picture up of Igor, or didn't find it? Okay. So that's what Serge is looking at. We shot this great video of Igor in 3D, which is fabulous. But this is cool because it basically shows you just how incredible the resolution is you can get off of. It's a 1/3 sensor. It's 12mm optics, and yet this is the kind of resolution, excuse me, you can get with it. Yes, Igor, that's the 3D video on the 2R1Y website. With you in 3D, just like the Muppets. Let's see, what else have we done that's cool with this camera? For the astronomy types, we bolted this to a 1950s Unitron telescope and shot pictures of the moon and the sun with it, which is difficult for 2 reasons. One, we're in San Francisco, and we're just about sea level, so ever getting a clear night is almost impossible. And then you're shooting through a ton of atmosphere. So even on a clear night, getting a smooth picture is difficult. And then you're working with things like, there's no motor drive, no clock drive on this telescope. So keeping up with moving, Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, way back when, the live tweets. So, Serge, are you hunting for something?
I'm trying to find him, but it's...
Okay, so I'm going to disappear for a second. I'm going to come right back, and when I do, get more fun. Uh-oh. Igor, I think we have you muted, at least here, because I'm getting sound in like 4,000 different directions. So Stu, for people who have a collection of old glass and want to know what to do with it, we hacked together a speed adapter, and you can actually. God, can I put this on? Let's see if we can put this on Von Whiskey's camera. I got to be careful because it's got a. Yep. So my attitude is anything is possible in optics with the right combination of lenses and a lot of patience. So this is a 7210 manual zoom Canon old glass bolted to 1, 2, 3 different adapters with a speed lens in the middle. It's 1 more of a proof of concept, but what we'd like to do at some point in time is get James to design a really good speed lens for this and an adapter, because there's a lot of really cool things that happen when you put old glass onto a camera like this, and one of the things is you speed it up like crazy. I mean, these are like putting a fire hose of light into the sensor, and then you get some really great performance. And this lens here, I think, was like $19 on eBay. So you can buy some really, really beautiful lenses, and what they need is the adapter in between. And so oddly enough, no one makes a Canon to S mount adapter. You can get a Canon to C mount adapter, but no one makes one that goes down this small. And I don't know why, but it's entirely possible to build one. I'm going to rest it down here so it doesn't break its nose. But that's one thing you can do with it, so it's pretty ridiculous. So Igor has a brand new control panel. Wow. While we're sitting here, more updates coming from across the world. That's the fun thing about this company, is that, you know, we don't care where on the planet you are. Greg is in Ohio, James is in Florida, Igor is in Berlin, Avatar is in China. I mean, we're working with people all over the place, so it's fun. An untold number of bugs. Wow. Oh, okay. Responding. Excellent. Oh, what else can we tell people, Serge? I want to tell people they could do green screen without green screen. Oh, you did not do that. That is not even funny, Serge. Late night in the lab. Oh. I'd offer to help, would have to trade places. And if you peek in, people will see you live on YouTube. Oh, it's got to be there someplace, Serge.
I know. Which is
Where in all of our Dropbox?
that's right. I know it's there.
Yeah, Dropbox. That never-ending repository of everything you never want to get rid of and can never find again. Or was it even in Dropbox?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I think I will undo this because I'm always afraid of breaking. Oops. That. There. Wonder if it's gonna turn. Oh, you're still killing green though. That's right. I'll move it off to the side. Put over by Danger Dog.
What? We'll find it somewhere.
So we're live streaming on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
And that's in the view.
Uh-oh.
So you want to be right there. You want to be out of the view.
I do.
So Stu, who is friends with Kate, is chatting with us online.
Kate who? Or Kate Russ?
Yeah, Kate Ruff. She was setting up a live stream right now. So Serge has stuck me here, and I am the entertainment while he plays. I keep trying to talk him into putting the different colors up, and he's dragging his feet.
But that means I need to close the door while I dry groceries.
We'll roast alive, but yeah.
Well, I will be quick unless Serge wants to come and help me for 2 minutes.
I would.
Oh, and then leave me here alone.
What Richard was asking of.
So.
I will put the fan on you.
That's okay. It's one of those few times we're roasting in San Francisco, so.
Well, plus you have the lights on.
Yeah, our ring light, I think, crapped on us. We got a bad section on there.
Yep, you do.
I have to go see if I can figure out why. It just went.
Okay, so.
Almost 3 minutes.
Lauren never came back. All the shit's back in the car. So I was driving around with it.
Oh. Okay, well, we'll find a way to donate it then.
I'm going to leave it in the car.
Yeah, we'll make it disappear. Not that he hasn't had something on his mind.
I know. I just thought that was something that was on his plan.
So, Igor has been dropping, he's online right now as well. He's been dropping.
Is he watching it? Is he making fun of it?
Everybody makes fun of me.
Are you
Alright,
playing?
so I'm running that video.
I think we're the only 5 people on now.
Okay.
And you can talk about it.
Because it was, I'm on. Serge must be on twice. Once.
Okay, you have an audience.
We do have an audience.
Wow.
But I think people will log on. Because.
All right.
Serge, you want to wrap this for a bit and then come back to it?
I got you your video, so
Oh, now he's
now I
got.
can go. You'll see it soon enough.
Okay.
Got it. One that isn't either.
She is. So, I'm not sure who's left, but Serge is streaming the 3D video. Okay, so this is. Stu, if you're still around, this is something you might get a kick out of. This is something Kate might get a kick out of being.
Remember, like back in the days, we had problems. Camera would shut down, shut out. This is running the way it was intended.
Yeah. So this is Igor being live scammed in 3D with what we would love to refer to as abandonware, but at 60 frames a second. This is a 1 megapixel image, and I come up sooner or later. Boy, I've aged in making this video. So. There we go. It's not our 2R1Y website, but basically demonstrating really in basic form what our technology does, which is pretty amazing. It's not like any other scanning technology out there, and our hope was that we would be able to. Oh, good, you're still here. Okay, so, Stu, this is our core tech. That's okay. So this is Igor in 3D. We're scanning him at 60 frames a second.
Oh shit!
And it's pretty amazing. So, anyway, this is what started the need for a camera, and turned into people weren't asking for the 3D technology; they were asking for the camera. So we decided to spin the two off and build a camera in hopes of going back to the 3D imaging, because it is a really insane technology. Well, what I'm seeing that you're seeing now is the black and white, but wait till we throw color on it. So this is one illumination source, one image sensor. Yeah, and it's so we will go live on Twitch in a bit, and when we do, we're going to show some really cool stuff. If I can convince Igor to do it, or Serge to do it. So Stu, thank you so much for hanging out while we practice with our setup, and tell Kate we said hi, and really look forward to working with her in the future. So thanks a lot. And Serge is back there. So yes, we will say hi to Serge. All right, Danger, it's up to you now. So I'm going to leave you in control of everything. You got it. Hey, my son. How are you doing? Should have dropped one off on the way back from TwitchCon. So when are you heading off to the Nautilus? Yeah, Serge had the other camera on. I think when he's done helping haul groceries, what we're going to do is shut down for a bit and then come back. So in 10 days or so. Okay. So Kyle, you haven't seen this. This is actually the wall behind me is really crappy lit, sort of just a green thing hung on the wall. But we also were playing the other night. I was wearing a blue shirt, blue against blue, yellow, red, you name it, whatever color. When then we do a chroma substitution, so it's pretty insane. And we were just getting ready. They want me to do a Twitch stream later in the day, and I'll probably be playing Spelunky or Path of Exile or whatever that is. So, me playing video games is scary because everybody else is too chicken to be in front of the camera. Um, anyway, still recovering. So I'm sure you'll get a kick out of this. What was that flat? Yeah, that's flat. So new top plates. Had them done by a company called Exometry. Pretty amazing. The ability for them to just take a CAD drawing and hack some stuff out pretty quickly. I think it took them a week turnaround on these, which is pretty good. So we're trying different widths and heights of cooling fins to see which one works best. These are designed to fit on top of the existing top plates, so we have a nice stream with that, or nice thermal dissipation with that. That's about it. So Serge, you want to close this down for a bit?
Sure can.
Nice is right. All right, Kyle, we're taking off here because my voice is killing me. But we'll be back in probably a couple hours for another live stream on YouTube, only this time with me playing games. And hopefully I'll cross on the Switch. Right, Serge?
Everything's possible.
Everything's possible. All righty, my son. We'll catch you later.
That was pretty good. Yes, it was. I enjoyed it.